What the hell are you doing? We're trying to record here. You're watching your...
I thought something was wrong with the equipment. I'm
are
like,
you watching your shows?
I am watching my shows.
My shows are on.
Sorry, guys.
Nana, can you mute your show?
Hey, tell us about nipple management.
So nipple management, so there's three basic categories of nipple management. Number one is avoidance, right? So what's the safest form of sex? Abstinence, right? So
Okay, yeah.
just no shirt it. So if you just avoid materials altogether, then you're avoiding nipple management. So avoidance being number one, it's very important. The second one...
Son of a bitch. I thought you guys...
Oh, no, this is good.
This is good.
Okay, I'm going to let this go, but I have to clarify after this.
The second one is lubrication, right?
Oh, my God.
Things are moving, things are grooving, right? So a little bit of ointment, a little bit of aloe vera, something like that, maybe some Vaseline, everything's working.
I thought you guys were serious.
I knew it was a good idea to have him come on with us.
And the third one be a material, a nice soft shirt, everything's going good. Like this one right here, requisite and pivot. Things are moving.
All right, I'll come back to why we're talking about nipple management, but it is, Friday night?
Yep, Friday
night,
snowy.
Friday night in the MCP,
snowy.
and we are actually sitting around a table in Sedona, Arizona.
Yep.
All attending the Sedona Bike Fest, where Dane and I are out talking to different people in the industry to try to make more connections, learn more about the products that are coming out, and ride in the snow, apparently. It's cool.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I it was the second Sedona Bike Fest, second annual.
Second annual.
Yeah.
Snowpocalypse.
Snowdona. So.
Snowdona.
Yeah.
And we've got some special guests with us today, also festival riders or attendees and avid mountain bikers. You guys want to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Mike Jones.
Mike Jones!
Mike Jones!
Yes, more popularly known as Sharon the Mountain Bike.
Yeah,
Sharon.
Well, Sharon the mountain bike's dad.
Yeah, you're
Sharon
not
the mountain
actually
bike's dad.
sharing the mountain
Yeah.
bike.
Dane likes to call me E-Mike.
Yes, you're the human e-bike. So
E-Mike, the human e-bike.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, he doesn't actually ride an e-bike, though.
I do not.
No, but he keeps
Yet.
up with everybody that does.
And Mr. Nipple Manager.
Yep.
General manager of nipple management.
I'm sorry, I got your title wrong.
Yeah, get it right.
My name is
He
Derrick
earned that.
He did.
Yeah.
Derrick Kampfer.
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 Camper.
Fur.
Jesus
Kampfer.
Christ. Can you spell it out? Do we have a whiteboard?
Is it Campher?
Kampfer.
Oh, I totally fucked it.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Fuck's that
Missed it by
close.
that much.
Just so everybody knows, this is a raw dog episode.
So usually I promise that I promise. Jesus Christ, I've had like 3 sips
some
of
more.
whiskey.
Well, I was going to mention the alcohol is involved.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
We have to stay warm. It's freaking 30 degrees
It is
outside.
cold. It's cold.
Feels like 20.
Yeah.
Typically, we tell our guests, "Hey, listen, I will let you guys listen to this episode ahead of time before we publish, and I'll cut out anything you don't want." But for Mike and Derrick, I said I'm not doing that.
No, this is
So we're raw dogging it.
yeah. This is MA rated MA.
Rated MA. Yeah. So for we've already sworn once, or I've already sworn once. So, but let's explain why we started the podcast with nipple management. And
Yeah.
maybe you can tell us like about the concept.
We were at dinner and we're talking about what logo stuff we brought from the podcast to show off at the fest. And we brought our hats, right? And that's easy to see. And then I said, well, I brought my shirt, my nipple manager shirt. And, of course, everybody at the table is like, what are you talking about?
I knew what it was.
And well, Mike listens, so he knows that at one point we had an episode where we were talking about, basically truing wheels and spokes and nipples. And I mentioned the word nipple manager, and then I got a kick out of it. So I actually made Josh and I shirts that say nipple manager on them. And they have a picture of a bicycle nipple, and we walk around with them. And Josh won't wear his because he's embarrassed.
Well, no, I'm like, listen, there's like a very small there's a very small percentage of the population that's going to look at this shirt. It's got a picture of a bicycle nipple out of context.
Yeah.
Just a little bicycle nipple. And then it says nipple manager. And I'm like walking through the mall with a shirt that looks like I got a rod and it says nipple manager on it. And it's like,
I will tell you, in the 9 to 12-year-old small boy demographic, it kills.
Is that
they
a
love
big
it.
demo for this show?
No, but we're working. See, we're working on it.
We've said this before. 18 to 32-year-old women
Yes.
are the most popular demographic. This is because we've never done video.
Yes, because they can't see what we look like, or the shirt we're wearing.
Yeah, no comment.
So yeah, the nipple manager shirt, and then we got into. I don't know how we got into nipple conversation, and I brought up that I've had my downhill armor has damaged my nipples because it was fishnet, and nobody understood that.
So Dane's over here talking about his fishnet armor. I'm like, what the F is fishnet
When
armor?
you say fishnet,
I know
everybody
that.
gets a picture.
I know, but what do you call? I guess mesh. What do you call it? Like, it's anybody who's listened to this that has had a set of armor, so for people that maybe don't ride downhill or didn't buy this type of armor, but there's armor that's sewn into a fabric and make it like a t-shirt. And they sew the pads onto the t-shirt so they don't move. So when you're wearing it, they don't move when you crash. So
I saw that same get up at Fascinations in Tucson.
No,
brother.
you didn't.
I did.
That was latex, first of all.
Do you wear
and you weren't supposed to tell people.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. My bad.
But this armor that I would wear would be a heavy netting that was open, and then because we ride in Arizona, it was really hot, and I'm like, it's too hot, so I'm not going to wear a shirt underneath. I'm just going to wear the armor, and then I wear my jersey over the top. And my nipples went so raw, like they were so damaged.
My nipples are redlined right now.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and you know how it is when you like touch your nipples, they stand to attention, and so that makes it worse because it's that fishnet like fishnet's like substance is like grating them, and so it was very, very painful. That's where that came from.
Fishnet armor. This is how you describe you.
I showed you a picture.
You showed me a picture of something,
and it was, God damn it! We're gonna have to put this up on the Facebook so people can see what this stuff looks like. It's just a very breathable way to put armor onto a shirt instead of having a shirt. So, but you need to wear an undershirt because of it. Otherwise, you'll get nipple damage.
Which is the third category, nipple management, right?
Yep, exactly.
Fabric.
Yep,
fabric.
Yep,
lubrication.
It sounds
and
like a joke,
avoidance.
but it can be very important.
Sounds like
right?
maybe you
Ask
should talk to the
marathoners.
guys from Faction.
Yeah, dude.
About nipple management.
I think that would be under their. Well, I guess if they were designing armor, yeah. So, but yeah, that was Denisi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct, but they're a motorcycle armor company, and so I'm guessing that they usually put that over something else because motorcyclists probably would have nipple damage too.
Better nipple management than mountain bikers.
Dude, it scarred me for life. That how long ago that was?
Prove it. Let's see it.
No, I mean not physically,
Like
not
actual
literally.
scars?
Mentally, I was scarred for life because nipples are sensitive, and you don't need something like grating them on the way as you're cruising down at 30 miles an hour trying to avoid rocks.
You were talking about something else related to nipples. What was that?
Shit,
He doesn't want to tell it.
I don't remember it.
No, it was something about nibbling.
Oh
God.
Yeah, no, we don't.
Is that too far?
well, no, now I don't remember the context.
I mean, it's
so
already
now
an
it sounds
NSFW
now,
episode.
now it
Safe for
sounds
work.
now it sounds weird
Now it sounds weird.
because there's
It's
no
been
context.
weird the whole time.
Yeah,
It was weird from
It
the
was
very
weird
beginning.
even with
You started it, Derrick. I don't know what you're saying.
I was enjoying a meal at a family restaurant, and nipple management with a bunch of randos got brought up.
Yeah, we should mention that today's the first day we've met Derrick.
yeah.
It's a chill vibe. I enjoy
Well,
it.
we weren't very quiet in the restaurant while we were talking about nipples, so
No.
I'm sure there was some earmuffs.
It went
going
from
on.
drone. It went from World War II history, or no, actually pre-Revolutionary War history,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
To mountain bikes.
Yep.
To nipples.
Well, and then
Sounds like a logical presentation.
yeah.
Right.
You get a bunch of people in a room and get them fed and get some alcohol. Something's going to happen. So I'm just saying, nipples may come out.
Anyways, I have not really worn. I have worn the nipple manager shirt one time, but I don't normally wear it because I'm worried that the small percentage of the population that actually get it would laugh, but everyone else would be like, "That's a weirdo."
Well, but that's okay. I mean, I care about what people think, but I don't care if somebody's like, that guy's wearing a weird shirt. That's fun. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. We wear weird shirts all the time. How many people are like, if they didn't put cycles after pivot cycles on his shirt, people would be like, "Is that a a Friends reference from when they were
Right.
moving
How
the
many-
couch?"
how many people
right?
get that reference?
Right? So like,
I don't get it. What's the pivot?
You're barely old enough.
It's
to
an
get that,
episode.
aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the?
I'm an old soul.
Oh, so in
yeah.
Friends, so like when I first started carrying pivots, I can't tell you how many times I got this meme sent to me where it's, I don't know the
Moving a
Friends.
couch.
Ross, yeah, they're Ross
Moving a
and
couch up
Ross
some
and
stairs.
Ross and
there's a
Chandler.
curve.
Yeah, and he's like, pivot. And he's yelling, pivot. And so like now if you ride a pivot and you hear some guy go, pivot.
We got to ask Chris Quicalis. Is that where you came up with the name?
No, because I don't know which came first.
What came first? Well, because he had Titus back
When
then.
did
I think Friends is before Pivot.
Yeah, it's like you're talking late 90s, late
Yeah,
90s.
that was.
No, yeah. So yeah, definitely. So who
Wait,
knows?
we can find out when.
well, so
Yeah, pull that, Jamie, pull that up. Pull that
what's
up, Jamie.
what's cool? Yeah,
Jamie, throw that up on the board.
get your executive assistant Jamie to help out. What's crazy is Pivot, makes full suspension bikes. When they came out, they only made full suspension bikes, so they named them Pivot, which is awesome. But then a few years later, they made a hardtail. And do you know the name of that hardtail?
Non-pivot?
Close, super close.
I got the data. I got the answer.
Okay, but let me finish my quiz.
Go.
Okay, do you know it?
I didn't even hear the
The
question.
the hardtail pivot. Do you know what it's called?
Hardtail pivot. I don't know.
Oh man, I'm so disappointed. How about you? You've got a shirt on, so I'm wondering if you actually know.
I do not know.
Was he alive though when this started? How old are you, Derek?
I'm 36.
Oh, he was definitely alive.
Yeah.
You look way younger than you actually are.
I work out a lot. Thank
Kudos
you.
to that. That's awesome, man.
I thought you were older.
Clean
so I
living. Good.
I don't appreciate that.
Okay, the answer to the quiz is the hardtail pivot is called a pivotless.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so that's clever. I think it's clever.
So Pivot Cycles was founded in 2007
Okay,
after Chris
left Titus.
left Titus, which he ran for 17 years before starting Pivot. And the TV series Friends ran from 1994 to 2004.
Wow. So it
So
could
Friends
very well.
came before Pivot.
It could have been Friends influenced the name.
Chris was Titus, though, wasn't he?
Yeah,
He was.
Chris was Titus. It started in his garage.
Yeah.
and he had a long life. There's a lot of different versions of what happened for him to go to Pivot, but most of it is he ended up getting, I think, financing. And Brian Mason may chime in at some point and correct me, but I think he got financing through an investment company, and they started to turn the direction that he didn't want to go, and he wanted to move on to something else. And he left, signed a non-compete, and I swear to God, the story is that the day that non-compete expired is when he showed up with a pivot, like a full-on built pivot. And
It's like Leo Fender for Fender guitars, man.
Is that the same
Do you
thing?
know the story? Like I play a G&L guitarist is the guitars I play.
Yeah.
And he left Fender, and then he went and did Ernie Ball, and then he left Ernie Ball and went and started G&L.
Oh, yeah.
And the L in G&L is Leo
Yeah.
Fender. And it's like the evolution of what this, I don't even know why the fuck I'm talking about my guitars
It's
on a mountain bike podcast.
It's origin stories.
Origin
We
stories.
like origin
We
stories.
like origin stories,
Yeah, we
yeah.
like to know where stuff came
Well, if
from.
you're looking for a great guitar, like a badass, the future of what a Stratocaster would have been had Leo stayed, try a G&L.
Nice.
Legacy. Great
So that's
guitar.
why I always give a little history on DVO, because people may not have ever heard of DVO, but as soon as I bring up, Marzocchi back in the day, then some people can connect and go, oh.
So
now
remind the listeners that didn't listen to that DVO episode
Mm-hmm.
about the history between Marzocchi and DVO.
Well, so the guys in North America, Marzocchi, started to get a little frustrated with the way the company was going. Same kind of situation. Somebody came in, bought Marzocchi, Italian Marzocchi, and kind of started to change the way they did things. And that was causing a lot of problems, a lot of QC issues they were having. It was just a departure from what they were, and they were just a really solid brand for a certain type of rider, and then it kind of went away from that. And the guys at the North American office were just kind of fed up. They had a lot of ideas that weren't getting
Implemented.
any kind of traction, and people weren't really listening to them, and so they just up and all left, and they got an investor and started DVO, and that's kind of where DVO came from, and it lets you know that it didn't pop up from nowhere. It came from a lot of experience and a lot of know-how. And so that's
We got a lot of DVO fans in this room right now. I've got a DVO on the back of my
bike's front and rear
PowerPoint.
DVO.
Your bike's front and rear. I think Mike, you got it as well.
Front and rear.
Yeah.
Derrick, you ever read DVO? Have you ever ridden DVO?
Yeah. Have you
I've
heard
been
of it?
interested in it. I have, yeah.
Have you? Okay, so
have, yeah.
just because Jason? So one of your
No,
riding
I've seen.
buddies?
I mean, I'm an avid YouTuber, not
Okay, good.
YouTuber,
Yeah.
but I watch a lot of YouTube, obviously. But I'm pretty interested in it. But I haven't worn out enough equipment to justify buying a very expensive Ford.
Oh man, it's worth it.
It completely changed my bike.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah,
I've heard great things about it.
It made it feel like a completely different bike.
yeah. It's good stuff. And I mean, we're not paid by DVO, just so
No,
everybody
yes.
knows. Like,
so you talk about it incessantly. By the way, if you want to deep dive on this episode 81 of the Mountain Cog Podcast, we got Ronnie Dillon from DVO. It's a great episode. It's fun to do.
Ronnie's super famous.
But Mike, like why, like you say that it changed your bike, like specifically, like explain your experience here.
It just felt more stuck to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I felt more in control. And I told Dane, he talked about this
A couple episodes I've mentioned.
where I felt slow because I wasn't on the edge of disaster. I
Yes.
guess.
Yeah.
I felt more in control and it was just more comfortable.
You thought you were going faster, and then your Strava told you different.
No, I thought I was going slower.
Or I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
It felt slow.
Yeah.
But then my Strava told me different.
Yeah.
And so now when I feel slow, I have to check just to make sure I actually am.
So you've told that story, but I didn't know that was Mike you were
That's
talking
Mike,
about.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Mike and Sharon. So
Mike and Sharon. Interesting. Yeah. Well, I love the rear shock, the coilover. It's a Jade
X.
Jade X that I have.
And I just have the Jade. I don't have the X.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a Jade X and the
Jade
Jade?
X has a climb switch, a little bit more trail orientated. The Jade was originally designed to be their downhill.
Okay. Yeah, you're not going to give me the downhill one.
Honestly, you could. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
But the Jade X came out and gave what people wanted, which was a climb switch, so that you could turn, because it's a coil. And so you could then turn the damper to a middle mode, which kind of calmed it down, or to a firm mode, which some people call climb, but it basically makes it give it a lot of personality and lets you kind of match the shock to the bike. So on the Rockies, I haven't felt a need for a climb switch personally. I don't. If I get on the road, I may notice it bob a little bit, but I haven't felt the need like I'm losing energy on my Rocky. And so the climb switch isn't that critical, and that's why Mike doesn't. I mean, Mike is like the human e-bike. Like the guy can climb as fast uphill as I can on my e-bike. And so it's not really a need on that bike. But some bikes, the design will really require that.
Yeah, and I don't feel any pedal bob at all.
Yeah. And so, and Josh, you just got the newest version of whatever they had. And,
right.
And that was really more, the Jade X is kind of replacing the Jade. I think the Jade's going away.
And then you had me try, was it the Diamond or the Onyx? I can't remember.
You're on the Onyx.
I was, because I gave it back to you.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I never, so I had a problem. I just never got it dialed perfectly, right?
Yeah.
It was sticking at the top for me.
Yep.
Did you have a hard time setting yours up, your fork?
No, because they did it for me.
Yeah.
No, they set it up for me.
Yeah. So that's probably one of the things we talked about with Ronnie is some of the generations of DVO have a harder time getting set up. And if you know how to do it, it seems easy. But then if you go on a website and try and read how to do it, it seems really confusing.
So it's like sex.
No. What are you talking about?
Is that the A, the L, or the M?
Yeah, wait. Yeah. Are you back on nipples? Like,
No,
what's
I'm
going
not.
on now?
No, I'm not.
So, no.
It's
You know what sucks? DVO's not here at Sedona.
How come?
So, they have to make choices of where their trucks go, and that is always a thing. I think they're going to gear up for a Sea Otter and be out there.
I heard rumors that they were recently in Tucson testing.
They were, and I did not. I will admit that I did not make a good effort to find out what they're testing. I know that it was with a bike company and they were doing some testing.
Just helping that bike company dial in their products for that bike. Likely.
Yeah, and
This is all assumptions.
If I had to infer that hopefully this means that this bike company is going to start coming equipped with DVO, and then I'm going to be really excited.
I also heard a rumor that there was a bike company in town at the same time.
That's the bike company.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we probably shouldn't say that on the podcast.
I'm trying not to. Yeah. Because these are buddies and we went out and had dinner and hung out, and I don't want to.
You don't want to violate.
Weird, yeah.
They didn't make you sign anything, but let's be cool.
Yeah. Let's be cool. But it was cool. My assumption is that company probably is talking to DVO and doing testing because they may want to put them on their bikes, which I think DVO really needs. One of the problems I've identified with DVO is that they make an awesome product, but their marketing department isn't as, and hopefully those guys don't get mad at me for saying this, but it's just not the same level.
Well, we talked about that in the podcast. They said, yeah. But I tell you what, when I was at CR, because you didn't go with me last year, I was surprised at the number of bikes I saw.
Yes. Yeah.
Spec'd with DVO. And I think like Ari was the one that surprised me the most because I think it was like almost every model I saw there.
Well, walking through the fest today, like Mike and I were in a booth and we looked beyond that booth in the back of it. And one of the company's bikes was up on the fence with full DVO on it. And that company does not offer DVO. And so that is a rider's bike for that company. So that should say something. Yeah. Right? And so I kind of see that all over the place where you're like, it doesn't come on the bike that they sell, but then you go look at their stable of bikes and you'll see it show up on their stuff.
Derrick, what kind of suspension do you ride on your bikes?
I have two separate bikes, but I have a pivot switchblade and I have a Fox 36 on the front, Fox Factory 36 on the front. And I have
fancy.
Yeah. I got a Fox float in the back.
Okay.
And I just this is Jason's old bike. He was sitting right over here. The Specialized that I have.
Yeah. Yeah. He's slumming it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I have a Specialized Levo in this. I ride Specialized. Don't listen to Dane. He's a Specialized hater.
I'm excited.
Great bikes. Specialized are great bikes.
It's got a rhythm and a 36 rhythm and a float in the back.
Right.
So I have a question for you because I'm really intrigued on people that. So you hate Specialized, but
no, I don't. I got to clarify. I like to make fun of Specialized because we don't carry them, but I do have to admit that they're a good bike. There's nothing wrong with them.
They're too popular. They're too cool.
Well, no,
that's what it is. He's trying to be punk rock.
It is, yeah.
Like everybody hates Trek, right?
Yeah. How do you feel about SRAM and Shimano?
So yeah, exactly. We can get into that.
Everybody knows. I got a free shirt from Shimano.
Yeah.
I'm being a Shimano fanboy.
What I'm getting is, I really enjoy people that specialize in things and they can tell you like exact detail. So the first question you asked me, have I ever heard of DVO? Right? Yeah. Would you ask me, have I ever heard of Fox? Probably not, because their marketing, if they're good at anything, if they make a crappy fork, they're good at marketing, right?
Yeah.
And how many people don't know that Fox Racing and Fox Suspension are two separate entities?
So there's Fox Head and Fox Tail.
Sure.
And that's
not a lot of people know that, right?
No, yeah. They think they're the same. In fact, I was just at Fox on Wednesday, and we were talking about that very thing.
Wait a minute, guys. You guys are going to have to explain this to me because I don't know what you're talking about. So,
Fox Racing, it being like the protective, like the helmets, the pads, the shirts, all that kind of stuff. With Fox Suspension being exactly like your suspension, like your high-end motorcycle, trucks.
So two divisions of the same company? Two separate companies?
Two separate entities of the same name. So I believe they're brothers. Is that correct?
Used to be. They're different owners, I believe, now. I don't quote me because I don't know the details on that, but they have both made a very big effort to try and separate and not be considered the same company.
Yes.
And so we always say Fox Head and Fox Tail. So Fox Suspension is the tail and Fox Head. So if you see a sticker on a car and it's a Fox Head, that'll be the apparel, helmets, things like that. And if you see the Fox logo and you see a tail coming off of it, that'll be the suspension company.
I've seen
that. Can I read some stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Fox Apparel, Fox Racing, and Fox Suspension, Fox Factory, are not the same company anymore, though they share a common origin. Fox Racing, which makes apparel and protective gear for motocross and mountain biking, was founded in 1974 by Jeff Fox as Moto X Fox. Fox Factory, which makes suspension components like forks and shocks, was originally part of the same company. However, in 2001, the suspension division was sold and became Fox Factory, operating as a separate company from Fox Racing. I didn't know that, man. Thank you for teaching me something new today.
So my question is, say my fork blows out. I need a new fork. As the expert, as the specialist, right, that understands this, what would you say to try to convince me to go to DVO? If you know for a fact that DVO is a better, more, I'm not saying that it is.
Yeah.
But in your opinion, it is.
Okay, that's the key word. So that's something that we, as a society, need to say more. Is this opinion or is this fact? Because
we talked about this on the way up.
Yeah. You have to make sure that when you're helping somebody, and so in my position where I'm helping people as a professional and I'm trying to help them through a decision process, I need to make sure that I separate my opinion from facts. And so if you say, how is a Fox heavier or lighter than a DVO, that I can give you a factual answer. Does it ride better? That's going to be an opinion. And different people will have different needs. So when we're selling suspension, we really have to talk to the customer to help them understand what they can do for them. And then also so we can understand what they're looking for. And so that is the tricky thing, because we were talking about how as this society moves away from talking to salespeople or somebody, they start reading about it, or they start looking at a screen to get their answers. Or, we've talked about this on the podcast. They go to YouTube and they watch a video about somebody riding that stuff, and it gets really diluted and not specific to them. And that's what? You're just pushing buttons.
I'm not just pushing buttons, man.
Yeah.
I'm calling bullshit. Okay,
No.
listen, as a bike shop owner and the suspension guru,
Okay.
you appreciate all the products, and you have to be Switzerland. You have to be.
So what are you saying? Am I not answering? What I'm
You
saying
haven't
is-
answered his question. You've told
Okay.
him why you're not going to answer his question. But let's ask him a different question.
I will
What
answer the question.
suspension do you have on your bike?
DVO.
On all your bikes?
Not on all of them.
That's true. What else you got that you're not testing just to see how it works?
Yeah, so on my lightest bike, I don't have a DVO because
What
they're
do you
not
have?
the best category for them. And so I have a Fox, Stepcast 34. It's awesome, phenomenal fork. I have my flight attendant bike, which is the Zeb Flight Attendant Ultimate on my altitude. And yes, I'm testing it, but I like it. Now, will it stay on there is the question. And so one of the things that I ask myself is, if when I sell my bikes, am I going to pull that fork off and save it for me? Or am I going to leave it on the bike and sell it with the bike? And that's a big thing for me. If I keep the fork, so the current fork on my Pivot Shuttle was on my my Norco, and I kept the fork and I saved it, and it's a DVO Diamond, the SL, the new one. And so
that's the one without OTT.
yeah. So I got to tell you,
you still like it.
I still like it. Yeah, it still does a phenomenal job. I was really worried, and I definitely went in, tested the water on it before I was going to really commit to it. But the new SL systems that they're making that are no longer OTT are much better than I even expected. And I've been on a few of them. I just ordered another one for my bigger bike. And so yeah, I mean, I think they're amazing. Now, the reason that I have to stall when I talk to a customer is different customers want different things. So again, if you were saying, hey, I'm going to get rid of my Fox, what should I get? If your Fox was a Stepcast 34, I probably wouldn't recommend a Diamond. It's not the right fork. It doesn't fit the right category. If you are looking for, certain features, or if you're counting grams, or, depending on what type of rider, the DVOs have a character to them. They have kind of a personality. They tend to be really focused on being supple, really small bump orientated. And, but you may not get as precise or refinements in the damper as you may on a different brand.
Well, let's double click on his question and run a little experiment here.
Sure. Okay.
Let's say that he does want to replace. It's the Rhythm that you want to replace. Is that the one you were talking about, or your factory? Which one?
He said he has a factory.
Okay, yeah. So let's say you want to replace
factory.
that. So give us an example of this process. So let's say Derrick's a
he
customer.
comes into the shop.
Comes into
Yeah.
the shop.
I don't know what I want.
Yeah, so if you came in and you're something that happens in the shop all the time is you come in for service. Mm-hmm. And so you come in and I'm going to service this fork, but hey, I'm thinking about upgrading, Now, most people that have a Fox factory, which is their top line on their bike, don't even consider upgrading because they've already got the most expensive fork. Or they may come in and say, I've got last year's Fox and I want the new.
Yeah. Do you have a Grip 2 in there, or do you have the new?
Yeah, I do.
Grip 2. So there's a new Grip X.
Yeah, Grip
right?
X too. So yeah, and so
show us the process. Talk to Derrick.
yeah.
Show us the process.
So I would say, we would talk about what's one going to give over the other. So on a DVO, for instance, do you want more of a carpety feel? So one of the things that I find on Foxes personally, and with a lot of feedback from customers, is the small bump is much harder to achieve that carpet-like feel, where it just feels like you're, I don't know if you've ever ridden a bike on carpet, and I use this term all the time, and I wonder if people have ever ridden a bike on carpet, but it has this super dampened, soft ride, It's not going through a ton of travel. It's not going downstairs. It's just this velvety ride. So, and that, if you're searching for that, if you've always felt like a little let down by the Fox, you're going to be much happier with the DVO. But if you come back to me and say, no, I don't care about that, but when I go off a huge drop, I don't want it to bottom out, or I have a hard time, for instance, I really want something that I can control, really finite control my damper, my high speed and my low speed on the rebound and the compression. You may be much better off with a Fox because they have taken the time to split that damper up that way. Whereas the DVO focuses on the high speed and low speed compression, but they have one rebound. They haven't separated it. And so usually when you separate the rebound, you're doing a lot of high impact events. So like a drop or something like that, where you don't want to feel bucked off, but you want to be able to control that separately from your high speed, like rubble that you go through, like a rock garden. So imagine on a downhill, you're going through a rock garden. You want the suspension to stay stuck to the ground, not bounce you all over the place, and be able to come through without jarring you like crazy. But then right after that is a 10-foot drop that you got to hit. And so your rebound may be a little, set for the rock garden, but when you do the drop, it's not as appropriate as it could be. So that's the time that we usually see that high speed and low speed rebound needs to be. It's not very common, and so not a lot of manufacturers are focusing on it. So Fox does, because they really focus on the top echelon of their riders, giving them feedback. And so they sometimes, I would say, prioritize that rider over the average rider more. I
do need to throw a shout out, and I've talked about this previously, but just since we're talking about suspension, actually, I think I'm cutting you off, Derrick. Do you have any perspective or thoughts on what Dane just told you?
I have a lot of questions, but
go.
Like I said, I just really enjoy, because I'm not that smart. I would say that I'm not smart in those areas, right? Mm-hmm. My focus is in other areas.
Yeah.
I like to be told what I need.
Yes.
As a consumer,
yep.
I like to be told what I need because, are you good at fixing cars?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. On the average, at some respect, I may not know what I need. Uh-huh. I may not understand everything that you said. I would think that's your average consumer. And for
absolutely
Fox, DVO, RockShox, your top podium racers are not the people that's making you millions of dollars and making Fox. It's your consumers.
Yeah.
I would really argue that 99.9% of consumers listening to your podcast, if they do, understand about 0.1% of what you just said.
That's very, very true.
I need to be told what's best for me, right? So if I walk into a shop and they're like, "Hey, what kind of riding do you like? What do you like to do? How do you your fork is shot?" So like you said, I brought it in for servicing.
Yep. Yeah.
I noticed this, and this fork needs to be replaced.
Yep. Yeah.
Badly. Okay, boss.
Yeah. What
should I buy? Because Fox is awesome. Fox is the top notch.
Yeah.
What else do I have? What do you recommend?
So with people that come in the shop, if the fork is just getting service, you're talking, for us, it's $120, $150 service. So it's not worth getting rid of a $1,100 or $1,200 fork, right? So we don't jump to, oh, you need service, you should get a new fork. That's not it. Our whole business is around making those keep going. The difference is when the customer comes in, we have to really talk to them about what they need and try and figure it out, even though they may not know what they need. So I would ask you questions that had to do with what trail do you ride? How do you ride? In a local area where we're in the shop and you're coming into the shop, I have a huge advantage because I can say, "Hey, what's your favorite trail?" And that will tell me a lot about you.
What is your favorite trail, Derrick?
My favorite trail is actually in Washington. I started riding in Washington.
Okay, that's not going to help me at all.
Not at all.
How about your favorite trail in Arizona?
My favorite trail in Arizona is actually right down the road. My favorite trail is Adobe Jack. For whatever reason, I love the way it whips and turns.
Okay.
It's an easy trail.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just want to wake up and do something easy. You don't got to do something challenging every day.
Yep. Yeah.
Sometimes the easy stuff is fun.
I don't know. Is that in Sedona here?
Yeah, it's right down the road.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
about 3 miles down the road.
Is that near the
where Grand Central is?
Is that near Chuckwagon and stuff in that Mezcal area?
I think maybe in the general area. It's towards the engine where Soldiers Pass is, that big kind of conjoining area. It's kind of hard to describe unless you've seen it, but
yeah,
it's very fun, very flow, very whippy.
So So
I like all kinds of stuff. It's my favorite.
Yeah. So like, for instance, if we are using a trail that's got a lot of descending, a lot of hard hits, a lot of drops, maybe jumps, things like that, that's going to help me kind of figure out which fork is better. I'm going to look at your stature and what size you are. I'm going to look at the bike you're putting on, like a switchblade. So like if you're putting it on a switchblade, that bike is so versatile to go up to bike parks and to be a cross country bike. Like it's super versatile. So you want a fork that matches that. So I'm not going to necessarily suggest a 38 Fox or DVO because that may be too much, you know.
Because the bike really matters. Because the kinematics of the bike.
Kinematics.
He hates that word.
Well, I don't hate it. I just have not quite figured out what it is.
Can you define that for me?
No.
We got a really succinct definition last time.
No, we did not.
We absolutely did. It's how two things in motion interact with each other.
Okay, yeah, that would be you and me.
Nipple managed.
On the bike.
Is that your two nipples when you're running down the street?
All right. So regardless, every bike, the actual design of the bike, is designed to handle suspension its own way, and you may recommend a different suspension product, depending on the specific bike that you're on.
I'll give you a great example. If you come in the shop, we just sold a pivot to a customer, and the stock fork is a 150 travel. Every time I buy a bike, because we have large rocks and a lot of pedal strikes in Arizona, and it tends to be an issue, even with pivots, which have a high bottom bracket, I tend to, because I like descending and I favor descending and I'm not as much into climbing, I add usually 10 millimeters to my fork. So when I bought that same bike, I put it at 160.
You added to my forks when you put them on my Diamond.
Yep, exactly. And so, you know, I'm looking at the way you ride, how you ride.
Yeah.
So this guy that comes in and buys this fork has ridden with me, and we've gone to bike parks together, and he asked me the same question. Hey, is this the travel you put on yours? And I'm like, no, I did 160. And he goes, I want to ride like you, not because I ride good, but he's riding the same. He's riding the same areas that we're riding. He goes, can you put it to 160? And I said, yes. So now that same fork on that bike cannot go to 170. And so had he put that on a different bike, it may be the wrong fork. So we have to factor in all of those things. So
and you call that overstroking, right?
Overstroking, yeah, like when you extend what the original travel was meant to.
Right.
And I just sold a set of suspension to a guy, a DVO set to a guy on a bike, and he's like, I want you to change travel and make it longer. And I have to, on the rear. And I had to say, hey, I may or may not be able to do that. Yeah. And we have a process to figure it out. And ultimately, he was already at the max, so we couldn't do that. So,
and you overstroked multiple of my bikes.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I mean, when it comes to the front, you can get away with a lot. Now, if a guy comes in with a Santa Cruz Blur, which is a 100 millimeter race bike, and he goes, can you put a Fox 38 170 on the front? First of all, I'm going to ask him, how much money do you have?
Why?
Yeah. And then you're going to say, why?
Then I'm going to be like, are you sure?
I mean, I can do it.
Yeah. But you know, that's the guy that I'm going to take a lot of time and help him kind of figure out if that's the right way to go. If ultimately we have a discussion and I've told him all the drawbacks and he still wants to do it and I tell him it could rip the front end of the bike off, it's his money, you know, he could go online and buy it and do it himself, you know, but I'm just going to make sure he understands why it may not be the most appropriate fork. And the same thing for if you come in with a Firebird, which is, you know, 160 in the back and you want to put a 34 on the front at 140 because you want to bring the weight down. It's just, I'm going to show you why it's not appropriate. But the hardest discussion is between brand loyalty. That's the hardest part. I like DVO because I've learned its character. I like the way it rides. It has a specific way that it rides that for me is just super enjoyable. And when I'm on a brand, I just tested a bike this week that had a Fox factory on it. And I just got off of it going, I don't like this fork. It's a top of line fork. And I fiddled with it and tried to make it how I want it. And I could not get it to the way I wanted it. Got right back on my DVO. And I was like, I was at home, you know? And so, the thing that makes me not go tell everybody they should get a DVO is that I realize there are different people that want different things. I don't want them to think that I'm only telling them what I like. You know, and that's important because I build trust with people, and I don't want them to think that, oh, he just is selling me what he likes. You know,
it's probably worth just a little public service announcement. And I just looked this up to verify, but like if you do overstroke your fork, every 10 millimeters that you increase will actually decrease your head tube angle by 0.5 to 0.7.
Yeah.
So if you have a 65 degree head tube angle and you increase your fork by 10 millimeters, you'll now have a 64.5 head tube angle, which will change how the bike actually handles.
Yep.
So just recognize that. And it would be the inverse of that if you shorten the fork.
Yep, exactly. And then that affects the bottom bracket height, which again, in Arizona is a big issue for us because we have lots of pedal strikes.
Yeah.
The other thing about, some of the things that are unknown with switching out forks and doing things is companies will usually recommend a travel on the bike, and sometimes they're doing it just because they have tested it at that, and that's their optimum, and that's what they think you should ride. And if you change it, you may not get the optimum experience in their eyes. Other times, they are literally not approving that product because it could break the bike.
Right.
And so, for instance, I was on a Slayer, on a Rocky Mountain Slayer, the head tube is approved for a triple clamp, which is what downhill forks are. And that puts a different load and stress on. It's very stiff, doesn't have as much flex, and so a lot of that energy goes into the frame instead of into the fork. And so they are approved for that. So they actually have a version called the Park version, where they put all the downhill stuff on their free ride bike. And we had a team rider who was riding a Santa Cruz Nomad, if I remember correctly, and she wanted to put a triple clamp on the front because that's what she was racing downhill on. It was her lightweight long travel bike, and she was racing downhill. And I called Santa Cruz, and they're like, nope, not on that one. And so what we were getting from them is a strength and safety issue, not necessarily, hey, it's not going to be like we tested it or perfect, you know. So we as a shop, we're real aware of that, and we help people through that. So to answer your question, I personally
I have another question.
As
soon as you're done talking, I have another question.
I would say, yeah.
This is why we have a podcast.
I would say that the DVO fork for me has been so successful in the feedback that we get from the people that buy it. It is very rare that people are not happy with it. I know of one person, and I'll tell you, my buddy Justin is the second person, and he actually had a problem with his fork that we had to fix.
I think I had a problem as well.
Yeah, no, because you were riding my old fork.
Yeah, I just don't think I had it set up right.
Yeah, I think so too, because I put that on one of my bikes and love it.
And you worked fine. I'm like, this thing, I can't get it to work.
And we addressed that in that podcast with Ronnie, is one of the reasons they're switching from the OTT design, which is in your fork, Mike, to the new SLs, is because they've had so much muddy info and feedback and reviews of their product because of setup.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, because I wouldn't have been able to set that up on my own.
It's got these cool features, and that is one of the things with the, let's say, the Fox Factory with the high speed and low speed rebound. Or I see this, we service King Creek, and King Creek there's a lot of adjustments on a King Creek. And sometimes customers, like you said, they just want it to work.
Too many knobs.
Yeah, and they want it to
not
just
enough answers.
Yeah, and so, like, for instance, when Fox developed CTD, Climb, Trail, Descend, they were really trying to give the majority rider easy way to adjust that for their ride style.
Yeah, just click it to Climb, Trail, or Descend.
And it is crazy because that was their motivation, and it was super successful, by the way. Like, people knew exactly how to adjust theirs. Now when I do a suspension clinic and there's high speed and low speed, I spend like 2 hours trying to explain to people and give them examples of what that does and how it's affected. And it's very difficult to wrap their heads around unless they really go to school on this stuff. And so I agree with you. Sometimes the simpler damper is better. The big thing that I'm seeing right now is the simpler dampers tend to suck. And they just.
How do you feel about that?
In what regard?
Well,
what
like, they're
that?
not just
suck
making
to somebody that's like a great rider or somebody that's just your everyday rider? So
everyday rider. So instead of making it a simple, like a CTD where you're just kind of getting 3 different positions and then your damper functions well, especially under high loads, they're making a cheap damper that is easy to understand, but it's not very well refined. One exception to this that I really like, and I've mentioned this before, is Fox's grip damper is one of my favorite dampers. And
that's probably what's in your rhythm, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have a rhythm. He said it
on one of his bikes.
He's got
a rhythm is in the Specialized.
Yeah, in the Specialized, yeah.
But that would be a grip damper, right?
That's a grip, yeah. And so the grip damper was one of the first dampers that Fox made that was called Springback IFP, which means that it has
Look at Derrick's face.
Yeah,
right
I know.
That's why I go to a shop.
Yeah.
That's why I go. Shout out Sun and Spokes.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah. So honestly, what the grip damper does that it just tells you at this position it's going to be open, and as you move it towards the back, it's going to be closed. And if you move it somewhere in between, in fact, on a true grip, they'll put a little indent in the middle so that you have kind of an open trail and closed mode. But the reason that is a low cost damper that works really well is the mechanics inside, the valving inside, still work really well at high speeds under big loads. I have actually taken the fit damper out of my factory 34 and put a grip into it because I ride more aggressive than the fit really liked.
I mean, the fit was more for cross country.
Yeah, and it has a smaller oil volume, and if you're doing long descents on that, it's going to heat up faster. It's not going to be as consistent.
What happens when you heat up the shock or the fork oil?
It gets thinner, and so then it moves faster, and so it's inconsistent. So
what does the ride feel? If I don't know what the hell you're talking about,
it gets bouncy.
Gets bouncy.
So yeah. And so if that damper needs service, this happens when it needs service, but you don't notice it as a rider when they need service because it's slowly been happening over time. And so every ride you've been conditioned a little bit more and a little bit more, and you don't really notice. It's the Grand Canyon effect. It doesn't happen quickly. So, but I get a ton of accolades from customers when they get their suspension back because they're like, "Oh my God, it feels so much better. You're a magician." And I'm like, "I changed the oil. I do more than that, but
it's the opposite, right? You get used to abuse because I just had my fork serviced, and before I felt like I had it perfectly dialed. Like this thing is banging on all cylinders.
Yep.
And I took it in. He's like, "This thing is on its last leg." And after I got it back, I was like, "This is terrible. Just put the old stuff back in because I feel like I rode so much better." It's been a few rides, it's a couple of months. I've ridden it a lot, but at first I just didn't know any better. I've been riding this bike for so long.
Yep. Yeah, it's the new shoes versus old shoes.
Yeah.
You put your old shoes on, they fit like a glove, but there's no tread. You can't climb, you can't run, and your feet hurt at the end of the day, but man, they feel good going on, And you don't know that you're losing all this other stuff. And so when your fork gets serviced, when it comes back, if it, like in our service center, we changed. Did you get yours done through us?
No, I got mine done through my local shops.
Well, so your shop, the one that you mentioned, sends stuff to us sometimes.
Then probably.
Well, no, you'll see you'll see a sticker if you did.
It would say Guru on the fork when you got it back. You get a sticker.
Yeah, but a lot of local shops send their stuff to us, and so because these things get complicated and they get hard to work on, and shops are tired of them changing it every year and have to buy all the new tooling and stuff, and so service centers like ours are getting popular because we can let your shop, be the hero and get it done for you. You don't have to go 2 places to get your tune up and your suspension service.
I might be biased, but I don't know of any other service centers like you.
They are there because I pay attention because I have to go meet with all these guys. But
I don't agree with you.
They're much smaller.
Yeah.
So,
Didn't the Lost Code just go to straight suspension service up in Washington? Yeah, I know you guys don't pay attention to Washington. But.
I'm not sure, but I feel like that's scary, so doing just suspension. So with us, we're a suspension center and a bike shop.
Yeah.
And it's very symbiotic and it works.
Back to the fact that the frame kinematics really make a difference in the suspension that's needed and how it needs to perform. If you're not staying up with what's going on with the frames, how the hell can you actually service or recommend?
So we recently had a bike in that we service the suspension, and the customer is we did a bunch of work on his bike, and there is a creak that he's convinced in the fork, and we spent a ton of time trying to diagnose it, and it's not in the fork. There's something going on in the bike, but it's so hard to diagnose because he's put new bearings and what have you in it. And that also is something that we have an advantage of, because if that customer has an issue, they can come right back and we're not just testing the one piece. Yeah. We're doing the whole system, but we have a lot of people ship into us too. And so it's tough. We brought on a new employee that came from a different service center, and he had a lot of great advice. And one of the things that he was like, well, you guys need to take more settings, and so that you can put their settings back. But one of the problems with that is, like what you experienced, once that oil's changed, the suspension will act differently. And so your settings
might not be the right settings.
They may not be relevant.
That's what I experienced. Like I'd put it, cause I wrote it down. I had a little piece of tape on the fork.
Yep.
So I knew exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to dial it back. Now it feels pretty good, but it took me a while to find what that new zero looks like.
Do you remember what you changed after it got back?
Not really. Okay. I mean, I wrote it down and put it again.
Yeah.
I get hit in the head a lot, so that's why I write it down and put it on a piece of tape.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it's tough when we're selling suspension. We really need to know much more about the rider. I keep bringing this up, but when you get these experiences online and you're trying to make these decisions without that interview, you're not getting the same experience, and you're not getting the same help in kind of defining it. And so your experience, you may not get the best product, because every one of these companies, I will tell you that their product is the best. And that why would you buy a Fox when you could have a DVO? And then when I go talk to Fox, they're like, are you kidding me? We make the best suspension. And then the guys at RockShox are like, you guys are both on something, because our stuff is the best.
But you want that, right? You don't want to walk in a DVO and they're like, yeah, Fox is the shit. We're not very good.
I know, but if the only, yeah, I get that. But when you get advice on these things, the manufacturer is never going to tell you about the other brand. So that's a biased point.
We haven't talked about this much, but I do got to just say, my favorite suspension product right now
is the
Zeb.
Yep.
With the 3.1 damper and the buttercups. Yep. And I am now researching the commensurate different fork sizes. So like a Pike and a Lyric for my other bikes. Yeah. And I literally, and maybe here's a general question, like the way that thing feels, I've never felt anything like it. It's fucking amazing.
Yep.
But it's on a super ass heavy.
Is there a sticker on the back of your fork?
Probably. You did it.
Does it say Guru?
I'm sure it does.
Just checking.
Yeah. No, man. Listen, I was just giving you kudos a minute ago. What the hell are you talking about? But here's what I'm saying. Like if I got a Fox Performance with a grip, so it's not as good as your factory. It's just like the lower level. Yep. On my specialized Epic Evo, which you overstroked.
Yeah, because yours is a 34.
34.
So 130?
140.
Yeah.
140. And then I don't know what we did in the back. We took it up 10 millimeters in the back as well.
Yep. Yeah.
Irrespective. I'm trying to see if I get a Pike and I put a 3.1 with buttercups on that Epic Evo, is it going to feel as awesome as that Zeb on my super ass heavy Rocky Mountain?
On your Rocky Mountain?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
So I'm
sorry.
I want to duplicate. I want to duplicate the suspension that I have on that damn e-bike on every bicycle I have.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I know that the weight of the e-bike changes the suspension.
Yep.
Performance. It's the same me.
I think since the engineers on these projects are really consistent, you will find that if you stick with a brand, you tend to learn their personality. And that personality will kind of shine through on a lot of their products.
Are you telling me that I'm falling in love with a SRAM product?
Oh shit.
You have to give that.
I didn't even think about that.
Well, Shimano doesn't make suspension, so I can RockShox suspension, and I like Shimano everything else. Right? True. Until Shimano comes out with suspension, and then I'll probably switch.
Well, who knows?
Are they?
I don't know.
Are they? Is that what they're going to show you?
No.
Are they? No.
Okay. So I would say that one of the biggest shining. By the way, just a side note, we had a listener contact us about the Zeb.
Yeah.
And upgrading it. And it was because of our podcast and because of your reaction to upgrading yours. And it is a very frustrating journey for me because the guy is super awesome, but getting the information about his fork and finding what's in an OE fork was way too hard.
Did you figure it out or no?
Yeah, I did. And unfortunately, he would have to do the same journey that you did.
Which was an expensive journey.
Very
I had to
expensive.
replace the air shaft and the damper and put buttercups in.
Yep. Yeah.
But I was like, I trust you, Dane.
Yeah.
Go do it.
His fork is one level up than yours started, and it has the better damper in it. But in the OE version, it does not have the buttercups. And so he has to still replace both. And that was frustrating because it's like he's got this awesome damper in there. There's no reason to get rid of that, but in order to get the buttercups, and I truly feel like the buttercups. So interesting,
dude. We've driven Derrick to 3 beers.
Yeah, I know. So
sorry, man.
Interesting.
He's like, why did I fucking agree to this?
So interesting.
Wait, hang on. Derrick's got to say something. He's waiting to say something.
Was I? I don't know. I was good. I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I like listening. I find it fascinating.
So on to Derrick's question, when you bring up the buttercups, one of the things that the buttercups create is this small bump.
Yeah.
Smoothness.
It feels to me the way you explain a DVO.
Yep, exactly. And so that is something that I think that the buttercups have allowed RockShox to achieve that they really haven't achieved in the past. And so, because these engineers are sometimes looking at like cycles on a machine. They're looking at data. They're looking at spike events, on these dampers to figure out what they're doing. Then they're going out and testing them with riders and getting feedback. And they're rarely testing them with riders like us, just regular guys. They're usually World Cup athletes that are giving them
And we
feedback.
keep telling them, send us your stuff. We'll test it.
Well, and to
wait, I got to be careful.
Okay.
Because people have started to do that.
Yes.
So I do have a question.
Well, no, don't stop them from doing that.
Okay, keep doing it.
Keep sending us shit. That's awesome. So,
But hang on, before you go, Mike.
Okay.
If you send us something and we don't like it,
we will tell people.
I'm not saying we will tell people.
I won't tell
But
anybody.
when we give you feedback, don't tell us we're stupid and then fight what we're telling you.
Yeah.
If you're not interested in like real objective feedback, don't send us your stuff.
So
Let's not go into specifics.
No, we're not going to specifics, but I will tell you that comment from Josh right now is because this has happened and we had one instance when this is happening. So far, it's not ever an issue.
It's not an issue, but right now we're like, okay, you should fix this, this, and this. Here's why.
Yeah.
And then you want to try to convince us that we're wrong. Like, okay,
yeah,
just one opinion, but like, take it for what it's worth. But
yeah, but the value of the average rider is very high when you're developing a product.
So why don't they test more with average riders? That was
my
Mike's
question.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I stole your question,
was my
Mike.
question. Why don't they do that? I mean, it would make sense because that's most riders.
When I've talked to Ronnie and other people that have to do this stuff, so Ronnie at DVO is the guy in the trailer who's trying to change the inside of the fork every run for that rider to get it to feel how the rider wants. When I opened Guru, one of the most common comments from other tuners or suspension guys was to not tune, and the reason that they get frustrated with it is because people don't always know either how to say what they want or they don't know what they want. And so getting that feedback is very difficult. Now I've dealt with a couple pro riders who can actually identify things that they need and can give you feedback that is much more valuable. And we talked about that with Faction, and getting that feedback is super valuable. The downside to that is you're getting the feedback from somebody going 2 to 3 times the speed of an average rider. And so then, I would say that those engineers honestly can just throw a fork at anybody who works at their engineering firm. They can go ride it and they can get that feedback.
So they probably get that feedback from themselves.
I think that is a more abundant feedback than
because any
the
one of
pro
those guys
rider.
can be like, I don't like this.
Yeah. But genuinely, when I'm dealing with people with suspension, it's very difficult for them to articulate what they want, to tell me what they want, or to tell it to me in a way that I can physically make it manifest.
I'm going to totally change the subject. Mike, if I remember correctly, you run some really not weird, but unique pedals.
Oh,
yes.
Tell us about your pedals, man.
They're by Pedaling Innovations. They're called the Catalyst, and they're just really, really long.
Like how long?
They span from the ball of my foot all the way to the heel.
Damn.
Wow.
From the ball of your foot all the way to the heel. That's like
they recommend that you line the axle up with the arch of your foot instead of
instead of the
That's
ball
how
of
I
your
ride.
foot.
I get told all the time that is wrong, but I've been riding motocross since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like dirt bikes all the way through. And that's how I was taught, right? So you can shift and move. Like every person that sees me ride a mountain bike, they make comment on the way that I put my foot on the pedal.
Do you do arch over the spindle?
I put it essentially,
Yeah.
It's the axle of the pedal right there, almost in the arch of my foot.
That's where mine is.
I get comments on it constantly about like, oh, you're not getting proper traction. You're not getting this. Well, I can ride fast and you're slow. So,
right.
So what does it really matter for this?
So the guy who designed these pedals, he's a mountain bike coach in Boulder, I believe, and he designed them for standing pedaling.
Yeah.
He preaches standing most of the time.
Okay.
When you're under, what is it? I think he says high stress actions on the bikes.
Yeah.
What's the name of the company again? Pedal Innovations?
Pedaling Innovations.
So there's a couple things that kind of oppose each other, and sometimes that is so. Like, there's some data coming out where moving your foot forward and getting closer to that arch is actually becoming more and more popular. From the fit standpoint and power delivery, I think that's where the ball of the foot over the spindle comes from. And so a lot of that has to do with a system where you're clipped in and they're trying to create the most power. So you're using your calf and your quads. And so I think there's kind of a not a happy medium, but I think you can get away with both types of stance. The big thing is to make sure that you're not doing any damage to your legs, So like, it's funny because you could decide that you just want to pedal with your heel over the axle. Mm-hmm. And if you ride the bike and then you end up being faster than your buddy, you could tell everybody it's faster, but it's not really that's making you faster. It could be the fact that you know how to ride or have bigger muscles or more endurance or, you have a taller gear on your bike, So these things, these different types of ways. So a new trend that's coming out is convex.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, convex.
Convex. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
So convex, and I just rode a pair of the new, I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about them, so I'll just say a new brand or a brand's new version.
Let's explain the difference between concave and convex.
Okay. Yeah. Help me, because I don't know.
Concave is the curve goes down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And convex curve is over.
Okay. So it's concave.
Science
So
teacher.
basically,
Science.
so these pedals are designed to where the ball of your foot or the center of the axle is lower.
Sinks into the pedal.
It's lower.
Convex would be the
Concave,
opposite.
yes.
Yeah.
Concave.
So concave. So your foot fits in almost a cradle, and they're really kind of, I think the goal is for them to be a little bit more cross country. So like, for instance, on my cross country bike, I ride flats because I have knee issues and I can't ride clip in.
Are they flats, the concave ones?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting because mountain bike shoes are flat.
Yes. Yeah. Well, they're flat mainly because they, I don't know. They can't make them an arch because everybody's arch is in a different place. So like, so
on these, I just want to get back to these pedaling innovations. I don't want to lose this. Maybe since you guys are both staying in the same house, you could try out your bike and pedal around, see if that's something you like. It looks like you are paying a weight penalty of about 100 grams.
that's not a big deal.
So that's a quarter pound.
I wonder if there's
I can lose a quarter pound.
I wonder, did you read
Not eat a quarter pounder.
Right,
Right, be
exactly.
fine.
Is there any power or watts difference? Because that's where the movement of the foot forward and back can affect your power. Because as you move closer away from the ball of your foot and towards your arch, you can't use your calves as much.
Yeah, I wouldn't know because it's what I've been riding. I mean, I started on clipless.
Yeah.
Which is a whole other conversation. But I was the king of slow speed crashes.
Yeah.
Because we'd stop and I would just fall over.
Yep. Yeah.
So I switched.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how I ended up with these, but I loved them.
So one thing that I've heard from other customers that have them is there's a lot more pins and a lot more contact.
There's a lot of pins.
So you stay contacted to them more.
And it gives me more leeway to not be as precise with my feet.
Yep. Yeah.
If I
Plus
bump something.
What size shoe do you wear?
I have small feet, 10.5.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You have tiny little baby feet.
Yeah.
So.
And so, so if I hit a rock or something,
No stand a chance.
and my foot,
Tiny little baby feet.
Little baby cute. They're so cute.
Babyfoot.
Can we go back to
Babyfoot Mike?
We'll edit this out. Well, you guys are going to edit this out, right?
Everything's getting
I think
edited out.
Mike
Feet
just
are
got
huge, Mike.
Mike just got a new nickname.
Oh, no.
He's going to be Babyfoot Mike from now on.
Feet are huge. 6 inches.
I
right, fellas?
know
6
some-
inches.
6 inches. This is 6 inches.
So
my wife.
we were talking about the concave pedals, right?
Yeah, sorry, I cut you off.
That's okay. One of the things that they're experimenting with is more people riding flats in cross country because not wanting to be clipped in, being able to put their foot down. There's a lot of advantages to being flat. And I think this guy actually, pedaling innovation.
Pedaling
I
innovations.
think he preaches flat pedals over clipless.
He does.
And so he's trying to create a scenario where people feel more comfortable on the bike. And I'm for that because I have a limitation that makes me ride flats. So I can't pick my foot up. I can't use that second set of muscles that you get with the
There's
clipless.
not a lot of advantage to doing that anyway.
And well,
There's been studies that show that there's some power advantage, but not a lot.
yeah, it depends on what your discipline is. So like when I was training for downhill and I was doing a lot of road, I was clipped in all the time. I definitely could switch muscle groups. So, and to give one a break. And so that happens. And you can also use the full pedal stroke, which can give you an advantage for power sprinting. But when I stopped competing, at least, anything like that required a lot of pedaling.
You guys, I'm going to have to throw some facts at you right now.
Okay, hold on, you guys.
Go,
Just stop.
go.
What the hell? I'm just talking.
He just said there was no advantage, and I'm going to tell you what the actual
no advantage.
So anyway,
Dane hates it when I interrupt him.
the big thing for me is I reached a point where being clipped in caused more disadvantages with my knees. And then literally, like you said, falling over if I was in a technical climb and trying to pogo up a section of rocks, I would be locked in and then I would fall over and not be able to get out. And that fear caused me to stop doing that, which limited how much I would ride. And so when I went back to flats, I had this huge confidence because I could step off the bike super easy. I could put my foot down in a corner if I lost traction. And because I race downhill bikes, that's my natural ride anyway. So it fit me. I have other people that are like, how do you ride your bike without clips? Like, because they've used the clips to be connected to the bike and actually pick the bike up when they jump or, through a garden, or to actually leap the bike up a section to get up a step or something. So it really depends on the person. And his concept is, hey, can we make these better for people that don't want clipless?
Pedal innovations.
Yeah. And then these concave pedals, thank you, are, because they're kind of curving around your foot more, are supposed to be more orientated towards cross country. They'll give you a more comfortable feel, and they'll let you scoop the pedals a little bit more to use a little bit more muscle groups. Yeah.
So the power advantage of clipless pedals compared to flat pedals on mountain bike typically range between 5 and 15% in most studies, though the exact benefit varies based on several factors. Power advantage is most noticeable in specific situations, extended climbs, technical climbs, sprint scenarios where maximum power is needed, and high cadence pedaling. 5 to 15%.
Yeah. And then you add any drawback to either side and it'll weight that one way or the other.
Yeah, because the advantage comes with trade-offs: less freedom, potential for slower, more complicated dismounts, learning curve for new users, and you need to have specific shoes. Yeah. This is all, by the way, anytime I'm stating this stuff, it's coming from Claude AI, which is a tool developed by Anthropic in San Francisco.
Yes. Yeah.
We should try that other interesting AI.
No.
Rock.
No.
So what do you think, man? These pedal innovations, that interesting to you?
Yeah, I've been looking at them for a while. I'm really good I'm big on color. So, if I look at it and it's like a lame color, like I'm good, I'll wait.
Oh, mine are pretty. They're blue.
Yeah. That's how I recognize you. So I was like, I know that bike. And then I looked up and I saw it and I was like,
Sharon.
Everybody recognizes.
Everybody
recognizes my bike.
Babyfoot Mike is more recognizable.
What's your
bike?
for all for the 60 countries that we talked to,
66.
What is Sharon's Instagram handle?
Sharon the mountain bike. Sharon THE MTB.
Okay.
At Sharon the mountain bike.
Nice.
So
every time we talk
go
about
follow Sharon the mountain bike.
Mike's bike and how it's very recognizable, you'll immediately
We can't say
understand.
Mike's bike. We have to say Babyfoot Mike's bike.
Babyfoot Mike.
You don't really have to do that.
You know, I was watching.
It's done, Mike. It's
Call
done.
me E-Mike instead.
Wasn't I watching?
Let's go back to the cool thing when I was awesome, right?
You still are awesome.
So Sharon was on Dirt Shed, wasn't she?
Yeah, I sent in her picture that one time. And
Yeah,
they
and
didn't quite know what to make of her.
Yeah,
Because they're British, and
and she got the lowest. I will tell you, she got the lowest rating. A nice, right? Not a super nice,
just a nice,
just a nice. Right. And so
is that user voted?
No, it's just them.
Oh, the host.
It's just them.
Yeah, who cares?
I just want to say that Mike called me that day in tears, and I had to talk him off a ledge.
Was he really?
It was a bad day.
Yeah.
What is the? You've got an interesting. So Dane recently got me a Switchblade frame, which I still haven't paid you for. I need to do that.
Well, I haven't given it to you.
Yeah. Give it to me and I'll pay for it. And it's the same bike that by the way, like I'm a shitty mountain biker and I'm married to a woman who's an amazing mountain biker. She rides a Switchblade.
She's really good.
She's amazing. And Dane bought, we ended up getting the same exact color.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I do not want to have the same exact color.
Is it the hot pink one that just came out?
No.
That would have been awesome.
Are you a size medium? Because I got one at the shop.
I'm a large, so I'm like in that nice in-betweener size. I like to ride mediums every now and then because they're fast and twitchy and you can whip them.
Yep.
The Talon, right?
Large, just kind of
That they call it the Talon.
Yeah, we got one at the shop.
With all the little characters on it and stuff like that.
That hot pink, that
pink
is
is so sick.
limited
such a
edition.
beautiful bike.
Yeah, I think ours is 198 out of 300. So,
Yeah, that's awesome. Anyways, it's blue. I do not want the same color as I don't have the same bike that looks the same as my wife. That's not how we roll. But you have an interesting, and I do too on my Specialized, but you have an interesting, sticker, some kind of, how did
frame
you,
protection.
Your frame protection. So what was the brand that you used?
It's Groundskeeper Customs.
Okay.
Yeah, they have all kinds of different designs.
you can go pick the colors, right? You can go.
I think they have a custom one.
I've been on the website. It's fun.
I got the ones I got specifically because it had colors that were the same as my frame.
Okay.
And it looks like paint until you get close.
Yeah, I thought, honestly, when I first saw it, I thought that bike had been custom painted.
Yeah.
He
Sometimes I don't tell people. They're like, nice paint. I was like, thanks.
Yeah. That's because you're going by so
me
fast.
hours.
Yeah. So what's crazy is every once in a while he'll be in the shop with Sharon and somebody else will come with the same kit on their bike. And then we
seriously?
Yeah. And then we take pictures of it.
Yeah.
So,
it's like Sharon has a twin somewhere.
Yeah. It's, and what's scary is there's more than one that have happened in just our shop. So imagine all over the world,
I think maybe
that kit was popular.
Maybe I'll just have it painted.
I got a guy.
Typically is unique.
In town, really?
Not in town, but he's the guy that does the custom pivots. So
I almost want to just go to an artist.
I want Jilly to do mine.
Like a street, or even have Jilly do it.
Yeah.
Or a street artist or something, just so that it's completely rando.
Yeah. It's
cool.
It's kind of trendy to do that right now.
Oh shit. Now you're making me
start
not
a
want
whole
to do
career
it.
for
I'm not
Jilly.
punk rock anymore.
It's true. She's she sold a painting.
Did she really?
She sold it. She did an art project at school and then they display it at school. I gave her crap. She doesn't listen to this because we cuss, but
because you won't let her.
No, I won't let her. She's 13.
You're such a good dad.
But I got to tell this story because it's one. I was a shitty dad when I did this. I didn't mean to do it this way, but she's telling me, she's like, "Yeah, I sold it," and I'm like, "No way, you sold it?" And she's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Who'd you sell it to?" And she's like, "This guy named Darren or whatever his name is in my class," and I'm like, "Oh." He's got a crush on you. And she's like, "What?"
It's not your art he's interested
I'm like,
in.
And Darren sounds like a solid dude.
Yeah. And I was like, I didn't mean to say that her art wasn't worth it because it is.
Her art's good.
She's really good.
But when I heard it was some boy in her class that wants to buy it, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is a player."
By the way, Jilly's is a attractive young lady.
Yes,
and
she
she's
is.
going to grow
Yeah.
up to be a very attractive woman.
Yes, yeah. So, but it wasn't like her teacher's husband wanted it or her teacher's best friend or, it wasn't somebody, it was like some kid in her class. I'm like, "Oh yeah, he's got a crush."
As a kid that was a loser in high school, I'm just saying. Who would you rather want interested in your daughter? The jock that thinks he's the shit and is going to treat her like crap?
Hell no.
Or the kid that doesn't
showing interest in what she's interested
he wants
in.
to buy her painting to make her feel special, to get her to talk to him.
Or he might not like her at all, and he just fucking likes the painting.
It's possible.
or he's just a big painting guy.
Yeah.
He's like, that's badass. I want to get one of the original Jillies, right from the beginning, right?
This
I think
will
could be worth.
He knows.
This will actually be the second drawing that she sold, because we were at a dinner party hanging out at a friend's house, and she was doodling because she was bored, because it's adult talk. And one of the other people that were there, our friend's friend that was at this dinner party, saw it, and she's like, "That is amazing!" And she gave her $20 on the spot for it.
That's pretty
and this
cool.
is a
awesome.
doodle.
That's inspiring for
sweet.
kids.
Yeah.
That's super cool. So if I just give her a couple words as like motivation or like inspiration, could she, like, if I went to her and said fishnet armor, could she?
Actually, we looked up a technique for that.
For fishnet armor?
Yeah. There's a technique to give your frame a
Fishnet
carbon look.
Yeah.
You use like a
Cross-hatching.
fishnet cross-hatching. Yeah. To do the painting.
Cross hatching, that's what it's called?
Yeah. And it gives it a carbon fiber look. And then so you do it, I think you do it and then you shift it one over, and then you do it again, and it gives it a carbon look, and then you clear coat it. It looks like you have carbon. Oh. So we were actually researching paint techniques, and that was one of them.
It blew up in your face, didn't it?
Yeah.
I want to know how you knew what cross hatching was.
Maybe he's painting.
I was a loser in high school. Right?
I spent a lot of time with art.
Yeah, it's a vibe. But at the same time, like when you look back at that, who's more fulfilled, right? If you could give 15-year-old yourself advice, what would you say? Would you say chase girls or look for fulfillment?
Do your fucking homework, dude. I wish I would have done my homework.
I would say change your diet, you fat ass.
So deep all of a sudden.
Hey, I'm a deep guy. It is what it is.
That's a good question, Mike. What would you do?
If I could talk to 15-year-old me, first of all, I'd have to get him to be able to talk to me, because I was terribly shy.
Okay. All right.
And look at you now.
Wow,
you're on
way
the Mountain
past
Cog
that.
Podcast.
Yeah.
And I talk to people for a living.
Woo. Yeah, you do. Up in front. You're like doing public speaking every day.
Yeah. So what would you do? Just talk to people, or?
I would tell them to believe in yourself more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
He didn't.
That's super deep, and I feel like not specific, and he wouldn't know what to do with that.
No, I don't think he would.
like, what are you gonna do?
He's like opening up, and you're like, yeah, your answer sucks.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna be like, hey, young Mike, you just need to be better, and then walk away. Like, that's not gonna be helpful.
So don't be chicken shit and ask her out.
I would have told my 15-year-old. I would have been.
That is really great advice.
I would have told my 15-year-old, invest in Microsoft.
Or Apple.
Or Apple. Yep, exactly. Yeah.
So, and that actually happened. I was working up to ask her to go to the prom, and I gave her to ride to school every day. And she told me one day, the day I was going to ask her to go to prom, that she had a date.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it took me
It's
so
almost
long
like
to work
she
up
knew.
to it. Because it took me so long to work up to it.
I would have told myself to believe in myself less.
That's actually really good advice, too.
Check your ego, motherfucker. You're
Yeah.
not as good as you think you are.
I feel like I tell Turner that all the time. Cocky little bastard.
He's got a lot of confidence, man.
He does. He's basically got the entire family's confidence bottled up in him.
Fake it until you make it, man.
Yeah.
He'll
It's
be
totally
successful.
him.
He'll be successful just because of that.
He's gonna be a corporate raider. Yeah. Like, he's gonna have more money than all of us.
That's kind of what I do.
Just start calling him Gordon Gecko. And
It's
see.
true. It's true. He's gonna have like swimming pools and helicopters, and we're gonna be like, "Hey, can you help us with our mortgage?" You know, so,
He's like, oh, your little bike shop is cute, Dad.
and he's gonna be like, "You remember when you made me wash the dishes?" No. So,
All right, this has been a great conversation. We set out to talk about the Sedona Mountain Bike Festival, of which we have said fuck all.
yeah,
Nothing about it.
Nothing about
It's awesome.
Except that it's snowing.
it's snowing.
All right, we promise we'll bring you more episodes that talk more about the Mountain Bike Festival.
Yep. Yeah,
which appears to be really awesome. We're
Yeah.
stoked. We're going to talk to a lot of people, get some riding in. But
Hopefully.
I think we've come to a natural conclusion here, and I'd like to ask our friends Mike and Derrick if they have any last words for our listeners. Start with you, Mike. You got any last words?
Do they have to be profound?
Yes.
Well, why don't you just tell them to believe in themselves?
Okay. And don't listen to Dane when he's being sarcastic.
Anything?
I do not. I've had a great time. This has been fun.
Are you going to be okay with the Babyfoot?
I'm a
moniker.
Yeah. I believe in myself enough now that it won't bother me.
Hey, if
That fires me up.
you know, what would be great is if everybody went to Sharon's Instagram and just wrote baby feet.
Babyfoot.
Yeah,
Babyfoot.
Yeah. Let's
Yes.
see if that works. See if anyone
They
does
shouldn't
it.
write it on hers. They need to write it on e-mics.
No, on hers. I think that's better. Yeah.
Well, she'll get pissed. Because she's got an attitude.
Yeah,
Like a
that's
triangle,
true.
right?
If you read what Sharon writes in her posts,
Yeah, it's coming from Grok on
she does have a
unhinged
I
mode.
should do that.
You should totally do that. You should make every one of her comments come right from Grok.
I don't know what this is, but I don't like it.
All right, how about you, Derrick? Anything profound to share with our listeners?
Not necessarily profound, but I was just having this conversation today. Is that it's kind of counter thought, however you want to say it, is that mountain biking seems like it would be a very snobby community because it's a big buy-in, right? It's a lot of, for example, my Switchblade, I got to use, but I paid $5,000 for that.
Yeah.
I work for the government. I'm I'm in the military, and $5,000 was a lot, and
By the way, thank you for your service, buddy.
Yeah.
well, thank you for yours as well.
Appreciate that, man.
Both of you.
For sure.
Yeah.
And there is a big buy-in, but this is such, I was going to freeze my butt off in a field in a tent. And my dude over here, Jason Edmonds, shout out, who's a great guy.
Yeah.
Shout out, Jason.
Happened to
We
see
tried to get
y'all.
Jason to come on, but he
He
wouldn't.
was too shy.
Yeah.
He needs to believe in himself.
For sure,
Believe in yourself, Jason.
And just the open community. That's why last year was my first time at the Mountain Bike Festival. It's an awesome community. And to the reverse of that, a community that you think would be really open, like the hunting. I'm a big bow hunter. I love bow hunting and shooting and archery, and it's my I guess my alternate hobby. Is super snobby. Like if you're
Really?
not,
I wouldn't have known that.
if you're not wearing Sitka and like just it's a very snobby community. But like,
Were you mossy oak or?
I'm a kill a deer.
Whatever you run what you
My
run,
grandpa
man.
killed 100 deers in a red flannel shirt and jeans. Like, you're sick. It don't mean anything.
Question for you after.
Okay, for sure. I will nerd out just as hard on archery, but I think that a lot of people are intimidated by mountain biking because of the conversation that you're having. Like it is intimidating, but at the same time, you have to have a level of trust. I don't know, so you know what, dude? You just tell me what I need, right? Because there might come a time when my fork blows out, and it is an additional buy-in. That's $1,000 for a solid fork. Say $500 to $1,000.
Yeah,
but I love the mountain bike community. This conversation, the last thing I expected on a Friday night at 9:21 was to be in my very first podcast ever with a couple of chill dudes.
And Babyfoot Mike.
I want to close out with this. One more thing. How old are you?
I'm 58.
This dude will smoke every single person in this house.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would say he would smoke 90% of people at this mountain bike festival.
He's a good rider.
Yeah.
Appreciate
We
it.
went on the
Thanks.
ride in 50 year, and you're like, oh, keep up with me. You'll be able, like, he was gone like that.
Oh, that was rocket
On
ship.
rocket? Oh,
Yeah.
I was
rocket
on the
ship.
same rocket ship. That shit did not go as fast as your rocket ship. But yeah, I would say I appreciate you guys having me on. It was really cool. It was a great experience. And open up to regular riders. You're right.
Yeah.
Regular riders are everything. So if I come into your shop and I don't know what I want, give me 3 categories to think about.
Okay.
Instead of telling me what I want, this is what you should have. This is what you should know. Like maybe leave, think about these things, about how you ride, write some things down, and then come, because it's a huge investment to talk about suspension.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, I'd rather give you too much info than not enough.
But everything in threes,
besides-
man. The human mind can handle threes. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
the 3 categories of nipple management.
I love when he came up with that. I was like, "Oh, this is a man after my own heart right now."
You should adapt those to suspension. See if you can come up with
3 categories of nipple management.
Here's the three key. Jesus Christ! Here's the 3 key questions I have for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're in here talking about spending $1,500 to $2,000, I want you to leave for a week and think about these 3 things on your next ride, considering your bike is not a dangerous mess and going to kill you. Like, go for a few rides with these 3 things in mind and come back and let's have a conversation about DVO, RockShox, Fox, whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. It's super cool.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
I do want to say that Mike rode with me at Angel Fire, and I'm not fast. And he stayed with me, helped me, coached me. It was awesome. So he can haul ass, but he stayed and made me feel comfortable. I never felt uncomfortable. It was great. And I became a little bit better rider after that weekend riding with Mike and Jason over there. So appreciate you guys.
Which goes into how
Thanks
awesome
a lot.
the community is, man. It's a great community.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Cheers.